Hello everybody and welcome to the NUFC Fans Forum. Like the Renegade Master, we are back once again. I'm joined as ever by Ross and for a very special guest today, Mr. Taylor Payne. Hello Taylor.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, yeah. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
Good start.
Good start, great one. Before we start, you were at the friendly yesterday, the Doncaster game. Could you give us a quick rundown of what that was like?
Yes, it was warm.
Not your day out, the
football.
football.
Yeah, I missed 3 of the goals.
Excellent.
While queuing for drinks. That was good. I saw our goalkeeper have a meltdown. That was nice. I thought they were they looked alright. It wasn't particularly inspiring stuff, was it? But it's fitness, it's pre-season.
Is anything in Doncaster?
Well, no. It appears to be an industrial estate. So
an industrial performance to match.
Exactly, yes. Very workmanlike.
Before we crack on, a very important question to ask you. The most important question facing any Newcastle United fan at the moment. Did you vote for me or Ross in the Football Manager?
No comment.
It is a private ballot, we can respect that.
I'm not prepared to answer that at this moment.
Okay.
I don't think you voted.
No, he told me off camera that he did.
I did vote, but I'm not prepared at the moment to give my response.
That's quite right. That's a very professional approach. Today we're going to be talking about a few things. But first of all, the main issue with Gini Wijnaldum looking like being... Should we just say he's gone? Probably will be by the time
he's at Melbourne now, isn't he?
Gini Wijnaldum's just sealed his £25 million move.
His brother done a Photoshop of him wearing a Liverpool shirt, didn't he, which was really bad.
Classless, I thought. Also very poor cropping around the arms.
Yes.
Anyway, the main question we're asking today is the one brought up by our good mutual friend, NUFC Threat Level, on Twitter, of, you see your head? It's lovely. He's all right. Payne a few weeks ago. He's all right. Hi, Brian. With Wijnaldum on his way out, and Sissoko looking almost certain to follow him, they're probably the 2 most high-profile departures from Newcastle this summer. Why, with them both very publicly wanting to leave, both probably contributing as much to our relegation as the other, why is one, Sissoko, being vilified for his departure, and one, Wijnaldum, not so much being wished away, but certainly getting a bit of a pat on the back and a bit of a resignation to keep him? Start with you, Taylor, as you look.
I think with Sissoko, it's the fact that for the last, maybe it's more than 18 months, maybe it's nearly 2 years, he's kind of not looked arsed anymore, at all, until the very sort of dying embers of the season and the performance against Spurs, which showed kind of what he's capable of. Before that, it was just waiting for the inevitable, wasn't it? I think he was kind of desperate to be away. The thing with Wijnaldum, he's only been here for a year. He's scored some goals, he's put in some good performances, his form dropped off. He didn't look that arsed, but... Am I ever say arsed?
Yeah.
Get in. Arsed. He didn't look that bothered as well, but I think with him, he's kind of... the fans warmed to him a little bit. He's got a lovely smile, and it lights up the room.
Well, you've skipped very neatly to my end point. I'm going to ask you both to close your eyes and picture him with Sissoko. Look at his face. He's not happy, is he? He's frowning.
He's never happy.
He's really sweaty. Looks like he's just put a run. He's done a long busting run to no avail. Looks frustrated with himself. Now close your eyes and imagine Gini Wijnaldum. What's he doing? Ross, you're not closing your eyes.
Don't need to.
Beaming,
I don't need to, but he's smiling. You're right.
He's teaching a young boy how to fly a kite on a windy beach.
He's supposed to be playing away to West Bromwich Albion or something, but he's actually on the beach with a kite.
I think with Wijnaldum, there's clearly talent there. I think it needs to be honed, and I think that he was playing in a bad team with a bad coach in an awful system with a lot of players around him who had pretty much given up. I think with Sissoko, there was ability there, but it's so sporadic and so kind of, it just doesn't happen enough.
Would you say those comments about being in a bad side and arguably out of position, would that not apply to Sissoko as well?
They're both the same, aren't they? They're both 2 players who haven't got a number 1 position. They think they're one thing, we've tried them somewhere else, they're good there, we kept them there for a little bit, we've put them back to where they were, and then they're not very good again. So they're both very much cut from that cloth, aren't they?
So why do you think, there's a lot of similarities when you look at various statistics of theirs. They're very, very similar players in what they've actually contributed over the last couple of years. Sissoko should arguably score more goals, but he's kind of balanced that out with other things to them. So what fundamentally is the difference in the perception? Why is one such... I mean, Sissoko's probably the poster boy for our underachievement for the last few years, certainly. But if you look at the ability Wijnaldum had, and the way he dropped off away from home, and his fight wasn't there, and he had a total like a bottle in tough games, is he not equally as susceptible to this criticism? Why does he not seem to get it as much?
It's quite simple, isn't it? One's made an endless string of delusional comments about the Champions League, and one of them hasn't. Why not put these performances in?
I think Sissoko's probably made his own bed, hasn't he, in a way with the fans and like what says the interviews and stuff like that. I think Wijnaldum's been a little bit more
professional.
He's kept his cards closer to his chest and stuff like that. And he hasn't. If he has wanted to be away, he certainly hasn't come out and said it at any point. And I think Newcastle fans, as soon as they hear, I don't want to play for Newcastle United anymore, that's it. That's it. There's no further conversation needed after that. Goodbye. Do you know what I mean? And it's great that we can get a massive load of money for them both as well. I love that. That's fantastic. The fact he signed a year ago for 13 million, 40 million, whatever it was, Wijnaldum, and we've sold him for 25 is just amazing to me. I love that.
Little asterisk over your head, it's sold for 25.
Yeah.
Presume sold for 25.
Yeah.
Hope sold for 25. That's a point, 25 million for Wijnaldum. The club is still insistent on 35 for Sissoko. Why? If we'll let Ronaldo for 25, why is this 35?
Because one was at the Euros and had 2 barnstorming games, while one was on the beach. I think that's the reason why. One's put themselves on the global shop window having the 2 unbelievable performances. That's the right way to use it after what we've seen last season.
What was more galling to watch, Sissoko in the UEFA Cup, the European Championship final, or Wijnaldum against Spurs at the end of the season?
For me, Sissoko, because the amount of times that I've heard people say, "Oh, he's an incredible talent, this and that, and he just doesn't show it often enough," and then to do it in that situation, when he's trying to win the massive trophy for his country, but he couldn't give 2 about Newcastle United. He really couldn't.
He made us all look stupid, is what he did, really, because Newcastle fans have had very little to do with that entire tournament, other than, occasional appearance of Aaron Hughes or Shea Given and things like that. We had very little to do, but to tell people, yes, no one sees Sissoko was terrible. We don't know how he's getting in this France side. Honestly, he's terrible. And then he got 2 starts and he was very good.
He was phenomenal. He was really good, but he was doing the things that we know he can do, that he's capable of doing, and he was doing it well. What he wasn't doing is he wasn't running blindly down the pitch with the ball at his feet and kicking it straight into the shins of the first opposition attacker.
No, I definitely still saw some of that.
Yeah, but you can't eradicate that from your game completely. But he, I think with Sissoko, it's that's what really sticks in the throats of Newcastle fans. The fact he's so capable, but it's just once, twice, 3 times every season, and then that's it. And then if the chips are down, I'm
at the minute, it's looking most likely it's going to be the Everton or Juventus. You'd probably have to say Juventus if it came down to it.
Yeah, I mean, I find it hilarious if he goes to Everton.
I would also find it hilarious.
The hard on he's had for Champions League football for the last 5 years, and then ending up at Everton. You know what I mean? I would think that would be brilliant.
We've not Juventus, let's assume, let's think of Leeds Juventus. Dortmund have been the only other club considered with a major interest, which I think we all thought was hilarious at the time.
And they've just signed Goethe as well, haven't they? So there's probably, that may have been the Sissoko deal that they were thinking of, and they've gone Goethe instead.
Well, either way, the point I'm trying to make is that Wijnaldum's now going to Liverpool. No Champions League football next season. Sissoko looks like he probably will have Champions League football next season. So why has Sissoko been able to attract a club of that stature and Wijnaldum hasn't? Is it simply just those 2 games in the Euros? Can it be that simple?
Liverpool are Juventus' stature, though, aren't they? It's just that they didn't have the best of seasons.
Well, yes, but the horrendously translated interviews we've read from Sissoko have never said, I want to go to a club with a bigger stature than Newcastle. It's always, I've wanted to play in the Champions League. He
has said, I have read interviews of him saying, I want to play in big games with big teams and big players. I thought, well, you could have done that for us.
Our away game at Villa was a big game in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, massive.
Didn't turn that.
No. So, I'll be happy to see the back of the goal personally. I can't be bothered with that now.
Yes.
It's not what you need. When you're in our position that we're in now in the football league, you don't need those type of players causing bother.
Could either of them conceivably have stayed, do you think? Is there any scenario you could have envisaged them being in that starting 11 versus Fulham?
Nobody offered the money. I think that's the stance the club's taken so far, isn't it? So,
But would they play it? As you say, it's a character issue. Would you?
I think if they were training well, I think Rafa's that sort of man. He just takes no nonsense, doesn't he? If they were training well, would have been in the team. If they wanted to be or not. Earn your move away, I think Rafa's stance is.
You think the club would have really hardlined it that much if it came to the last day of the transfer window and they were getting offered less than the valuation? Let's say it was 20 million for Wijnaldum and 25 in for Sissoko, less than they wanted. Do you think the club would, with a gun to the head, the players screaming for the move, the agents screaming for the move, do you think they would have relented, or do you think they would have been tough with it?
They've got form of doing that, haven't they? They did it with Kabay when Arsenal were bidding for him, and even Spurs bid for him as well at one point, and they said no, and he famously took a bit of a huff through his toys out the pram, and then didn't turn up for the first 3 or 4 games. I think the club would have stuck to their guns, and then said, look, you're here now, you've got a job to do. You either train hard and you play and you put your effort in, or we'll stick in reserves and you can whistle, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, with us conceivably having seen the back of them, do you think they need replaced now, or do you think the squad can sort of absorb their absence? Because regardless of the jibes and whatever we might think about them, they made the most appearances of any players last season, something like nearly 70 games between them. That's a big loss, regardless of how you rate their performances. Do you think that the club easily absorbs that with the players we've got now, or do you think now that they're off the books we need to start looking at acquisitions?
I think we could fall into this trap of being desperate to spend that money very quickly, which maybe might not be the best way of going about things. I think we've got a decent squad for the level we're at, and I think people need to remember that. We're not a Premier League club anymore. I think we're doing well to sign players, the likes of Hanley, for people like Matt Ritchie to take a step down, I think is a big bonus for us.
Gale too, technically.
Gale as well, yeah, who's proven he can score goals in the Premier League. He could have stayed up there with somebody else. So I think we've got to be careful and not just spend it because we've got it. You know, you don't want that money burning a hole in your pocket, and you don't want to go and splurge a load on a player who's not right for the level that we're at.
I think we're better off looking at a loan, a couple of loans, a winger and attacking midfielder maybe, because those positions there, you don't be wasting money just on championship players. If we're looking to go up, you ideally want someone that can be in the Premier League team as well, which we might not be able to get at this moment.
Any names jump to mind?
No.
For the level that we're at and for the experience that players have had, I think somebody like Robbie Brady maybe.
Oh, what a shout!
Maybe whether he would come or not, I don't know. But
would Norwich sell him though?
I know this
direct
is it.
rivals.
Direct rivals, but if you put the money on the table, unless you put the money out there, else you're not going to find out, are you?
Shy Bear's getting out.
Here, Charleston's always on free.
Sunderland captain Chelsea got it. He finished the game as captain last night.
That's incredible. Brilliant. God bless him. He finally got his move back to London. His move to London has taken him to Wigan, to Aston Villa, and now back to the
magical
North East.
Mystery tour of the north of England.
God bless him.
Yeah.
If you're watching, Charles, send us a message. We love you. We miss you. No, we don't. Grant Hanley, then.
Yes.
The latest. We're all predicting finding another defender with a number 9 shirt on for the first time since Sol Campbell. Number 5. Does he number 9?
He said number 9.
Number 9.
I was thinking there.
So Grant Hanley,
Newcastle's number 9.
Cooked, yeah. 5.5 million being told from Blackburn Rovers.
Yeah.
Is that, how do we rate that as an acquisition?
I think, bearing in mind his experience, the fact he's an international captain, he's the captain of Scotland. I think it's a decent shout, to be honest. I've not seen a great deal of him, but from what I've read and from what I've heard, he's apparently quite sort of powerful and strong. He's not scared to head a ball, which is something we've struggled with over the last few years. And whether he starts or not, I don't know. But I think depth of the squad, I think we need somebody like that in there. I think now Taylor's gone, Colaccini's gone. You know, we're going to have to kind of rebuild the ranks a little bit.
Well, we used, I looked this up, 7 different centre-backs got a game for Newcastle last time we were in the Championship. 7.
Can we name them all?
Can you name them all?
Colaccini, Taylor,
yes.
Kishnishvili,
yes.
Williamson,
one size,
yes.
Williamson, Kadar,
yes.
Thomas Kadar.
Oh,
He'd almost merely a League Cup appearance. Ooh.
Ben Tozer.
Ben Tozer.
Oh, Christ, on fire.
Yes.
That's why we're your manager.
Ben Tozer.
Fair Tozer.
Ben Tozer. Easy to mix up.
I saw her in Bolton not long ago, you know.
What was she up to?
She was married to a bloke from East Bolton.
Oh, no way.
And she was in the Wacky Warehouse at the...
She was in the actual Wacky
she was with
Warehouse
her
herself?
kids.
Oh, right. That would have been.
I was sat behind her, going, look, there's a celebrity.
Did you talk to her?
No, I didn't know the ball.
Oh.
Our ass was there as well. So,
I was in Wacky Warehouse with John Barnes and his kids were in back in the day.
Oh, no.
What a time it was. The whole place basically shut down just to watch John Barnes sit there and eat things.
I've missed my joke.
Oh.
Can we go back?
For what?
Did you talk to her?
No, I didn't know that our ass was there.
Oh, tragedy. Grant Hanley, Ross.
He's big, he's strong,
He's
he's no nonsense.
I thought I was going to rhyme.
He's big as a fairy.
Oh,
There you go. We've got the chance.
There we go.
I think, yeah, the prospect of maybe next season Sergio Aguero against him doesn't really fill us with hope, but we're a long way from that yet.
We are quite a long way
He'll
from that.
do for now. I think it's 5.5?
5.5 million.
Half of the course, isn't
I
it?
think in this
Championship
summer's transfer window, Championship or otherwise, the fees getting thrown around for very, very average players. I think 5.5 million for Blackburn's captain, for Scotland's captain, is I think it's a snip. Do you see him as start 11 material at the minute, or do you expect that whatever defenders we've got to all
I
be?
think Benitez seems to be happy with Mbemba and Lascelles, doesn't he? And I like Lascelles. And there's a potential that he might be the captain.
There's maybe a little bit lack of experience between Mbemba and themselves. I think people
They're the same age.
Yeah, people forget how young Mbemba
22
is.
old. It's maybe I don't know. Maybe that's the other centre half we need to sign is some old hand who's going to come in and kind of, someone who's used to marshal the defence and all that kind of thing.
Get any names?
Tony Adams, maybe.
Chris Morgan still playing.
You mentioned you bring up Chris Morgan on everyone.
When you think of a Championship centre half, it's Chris Morgan.
I don't know who Chris Morgan is. Ross.
Franco Baresi. There's a name.
He's good. Yes, this is
I
a
met him.
Evan. Why don't? Is there not been an argument for? What's the situation with Williamson? Has he definitely been sold?
Yeah,
He's definitely been sold.
He's gone.
January.
I've checked.
Well, that was a daft move, wasn't it?
Checked on the training ground.
He got
definitely
man of the match in his first loan game for Wolves, and then got injured, and then
He scored a header from a corner as well, really early on in his Wolves career.
Did he celebrate when he scored that, or did he just stand around waiting for someone to celebrate?
It was offside.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Bless him. I'll never forget that right-footed 2-yard volley against Crystal Palace.
I never will forget that right foot too.
Unbelievable.
I'll never forget
What a
his
finish.
Cruyff turn against West Ham away.
Amazing.
The 442 Stats Zone app with Mike Williamson's successful take-ons and one tiny X in it was my Facebook header picture for about 6 months.
The foot against Chris, was it Aston Villa as well?
Yes.
Oh, what
I
a
watched the
start
final
that was.
earlier on.
amazing.
Popped up on my timeline.
That was amazing. Although, terrible pass. But
Awful pass.
give him bench too. Well, that brings us nicely to the last thing I wanted to talk about.
Can I just say, before we go any further, Isaac Hayden is the new James Perch.
Perch, number 14, doesn't know his proper position.
We still need to sign James Perch.
That's a thing we brought up with a previous...
He's on a free.
James Perch is on a free.
Is he really?
Would you have James Perch back on a free?
I would have him kind of just around my house doing odd jobs.
Well, he's on a free, doesn't he, what the free is for?
For
He
the
could
kids,
just
that
be...
kind of thing. I'd have that, definitely. I think he'd do it as well. He's got very kind eyes.
He's always got a willingness to do a job, I think, with James Perch. I think if that job was pick the Bairns up at 3:30, I think he would put himself to that task.
My favourite James Perch thing ever from the whole time he was here was basically, it was a game at home. I can't remember who it was against. He was playing him in the midfield. He got the ball, dropped the shoulder, he did a step over, and then a dummy sent two players the wrong way, right? Stepped into midfield and sprayed this pass with the outside of his right foot, which arced around a player and dropped at the feet of whoever was playing on the left-hand side of midfield. And I swear to you, 4 blokes in the Gaelic end stood next to me all went like that at the same time to check if it had actually happened.
Do you know what game was
It's
it?
just amazing. I can't remember. I think it might have been... I've got Fulham in my head for some reason, but I don't think it was Fulham. I don't know.
If this is ringing any bells, send us the name of the game that was, and we will GIF this, and we will publish it on Twitter once a day for
It's
a month.
incredible.
I would watch that.
There was
I'd watch
just
it.
blokes
in my
going
bedroom alone. That's why I watch it.
I would watch it in bed, yeah. It's very weird.
with curtains drawn.
Yes.
Dirty devil.
Anyway, how long now till the Fulham game?
3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Need a bit.
As it stands, assuming Wijnaldum's gone, assuming Sissoko was gone, At the minute, there's no real noises about any of the rest of the squads. Everything else got on quiet on Yanmat and Krul, so with the rest of them at your disposal to pick from, and I mean, feel free to use your own judgment who will stay at this point. What are your starting 11s?
Goalkeeping wise, I wouldn't trust Matt Sells with a blunt crayon at the minute after what I saw.
So based on
what was the meltdown he saw? Was it just the mistake?
He basically did it. He did it twice. He tried to chip the ball over a defender to Yanmat, who was kind of nowhere near the ball. It trickled out of play. And then the second time, somebody come running in. He tried to kind of lift it over his head and go round him from a back pass, which, you know, come on, you're not Danielson, you're a goalkeeper.
He tried to lift the ball.
He tried to dink the ball over the defender and then run around him.
Over the defender?
Over the attacker, sorry, the oncoming attacker.
He tried to lift it over him as he was coming towards him and just step round him.
So it was a back pass, the ball's kind of rolling towards him, he tries to do the old, like, just like that, back spin it over his head, go round him, but what happened is the attacker just turned round and went, no. Like that, and he just piled into the back of him, knocked him flat on his face.
No wonder he's the
oldest. And the ref went, well, that's a pen. So, yeah, it was ridiculous. But he did it twice, and then he kicked one right down the middle of the pitch on the floor after falling over. He doesn't look particularly comfortable. But you never know, he's nervous, new league, new country.
Let's not forget almost the exact same conversation, including new country, was had about Fraser Forster. Leeds away game, he looked hopeless. Wasn't adjusting the move from foreign Scotland into England, and
the big difference.
The lack of faith shown in him was potentially a bad idea.
Well, possibly, and I mean, you know, we're well known for having goalkeepers who've had wobbles. So you know, it could be that it's just a bit of pre-season nerves, and he'll settle in eventually. Personally, I think Caldalo, based on the performances he had at the end of the season, probably deserves a shout. Starting if he's fit, and I know Rob Elliott's probably not going to be ready. Tim Krul's ready-ish, but
Elliott's my number one when he is fit though.
Ahead of Krul?
Aye. Krul's just been off the boil for 2 years, maybe 3, hasn't he?
You know, if he recaptures the form that you know he's capable of, I think he's probably the best goalkeeper at the club.
Yeah.
But there's something about Rob Elliott, I don't know what it is. He's just got one of them faces.
Kind of.
It's the kindness behind the eyes, lovely smile, you know, delightful
strong facial
accent.
So goalkeeper, Taylor?
Darlow for me.
Ross?
I think I read somewhere he said Sells is number 1, didn't he? Is that a thing, or have I just dreamt it?
Rafa Benitez is not around this table, Ross. It's your
number
one goalkeeper I'm interested in.
Well, after hearing what I've heard about last night, I'd go with Darlow. Bit of a safer choice.
Darlow. Okay.
Trust me.
Back four? Presuming you would use a back four. Of course you'd use a back four.
Gamez.
At right back?
Jesus Gamez. Jesus Gamez.
That's the correct one, yes.
He
sounded like he'd be sick twice.
He at left back last night looked really good. Very sparky.
He came on at left back against Bohemians. Was Bohemians?
Yeah.
That's
right, yeah. I thought he was very good. Him and Perez linked up very nicely down the left hand side. He was attacking. And he's got a lovely beard, so definitely he's my left back to start with. And as far as the rest of the back four go, I would say Lascelles and Mbemba, see how they get on. And at right back, Yama, if he does go, then Vernon and Nieder.
If Darryl does go, Vernon's got to be our number one choice right back.
Ross?
Well, I don't like Paul Dummett, so
same back four.
We'll go with Hammers, yeah. Same back four.
I used to have very strong feelings about Paul Dummett, not romantically, but I'm not keen on him as a left back. Played all right last night. We came on and played in the middle. I think his best position is centre half. I think he'll probably slot in and do a job there, but I've got a feeling he'll start left back.
You think
I'd like to see Rafa might start on left back, but I'd rather start Gamez.
Right now, would you say his role in this squad is currently 4th choice centre back? Oh no, Isaac Hayden. Would you say 5th choice centre back? Is that where Paul Dummett finds himself?
Hayden's a midfielder for us, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, he played
dropped in the centre half.
Again, he played centre back against Bohemians.
He was very good. I like the look of him. He looks like a confident young man.
It's not a loan, is it? It's been a full transfer.
No, yes, permanent.
So same goalkeeper, same back four. And we think Paul Dummett, God bless him.
I think Dummett will get a nod purely based on the experience probably that he's got now. He's played there for a while. And he played in that back four, the back end of last season. So I think he'll probably get the nod. I'd like to see Gamez start as left back, and Yamaha as right back.
How would you pack the midfield?
We'll say it's a 4-2-3-1.
You can say whatever you want, Ross. However you do it.
I'll say it's a 4-2-3-1 because that's what Rafa likes, isn't it?
Who's your two then?
I can't see Teodor still being here in 3
I
years'
can't
time.
either, no.
So I think it would be Ginger Jack and John Joe.
England's Rose, Jack Colback, and England's other Rose. England's Tulip.
England's Red Rose and England's White
England's
Rose.
cue ball.
Oh, Ross. That's genius.
Lovely that, isn't it?
England's Red Rose and England's White Rose.
She's got a massive white
Massive
Maldives. I think it'll be those two.
Colback and Shelby.
Yeah, I like the look of Hayden in the midfield. Shelby is a bit Hollywood for me at times, and he looked a bit kind of a bit lumbery last night, and a bit kind of he was putting tackles in when he really didn't need it. Yeah, no, he did look trim.
He looked
very
quite
trim.
svelte.
Compared to when he signed for us, he looked a lot trimmer. But I don't know, there's something about him which isn't quite right.
I don't personally trust him in a two. Same with the reason when people talk about playing Sissoko as part of the centre midfield, I don't think he's got the wherewithal to play as a two. If he was going to put three in the middle, I think he'd be excellent then.
I think with Shelby, he's got a touch of that Steven Gerrard lack of positional discipline about him, where he thinks, I'm going to win the game on my own and be Roy of the Rovers, and off he goes. Do you know what I mean? And then you just leave Jack Colback standing there.
Leaving Jack Colback playing against three footballers.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But you still think that's how Benitez will go, Colback?
I think Teodor will go to China. I think he'll be away. And I think it'll be Colback and China.
Any place in your heart for Henry Saibe, I must ask? His mother has rang me.
I've got no opinion of the guy because I've not seen him play once.
Came on last night for the last 20 minutes, and I don't remember him touching the ball. I know he was wearing number 23, so that instantly...
He started in Dublin, and he wasn't bad. I mean, every time he got the ball, he certainly looked a class above his opposition, which is the bare minimum we'd expect. But
all I know of the guy is Football Manager 2008, which leaves me wondering why we're not playing him up front. Yeah, that's right.
Fair play.
With the three across the attack three?
Got to be Aaron's on the left.
Got to be Aaron's.
Got to be Taylor.
I like Aaron's. But I'm keen on Perez as well. Mind you, I do prefer Perez playing up front. But
I think he'd play off in the.
So you play in the hool.
In the hool.
In the hool.
I think it'd be Aaron's, Perez, Richie.
Right. Aaron's, Perez, Richie.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Sim Dion? Anyone? If fit, does he get any team?
Can we just sell him? Because there's a couple of losses. He's injured again, isn't he?
He picked up a bit of a knock.
Just get rid of him, guy.
Really nasty paper cut. Just took off one of his arms.
But if fit, would you get in your team at the minute?
No.
No.
I was trying to think of why, a good enough reason, but there wasn't one. But it's just, I don't know if I trust them to stay together, like, in one bit.
I think he scored a nice goal against Swansea. Was it the season before last?
Yes.
And that's it?
Why is he still...
I actually think Sim Dion's entire reputation in Newcastle has been forged entirely of people like me going, no, honestly, he's dead good. I've watched 2 Ajax games.
Well, I saw those 2 against Manchester City in the Champions League, and I was kind of kept pot when we signed him. I thought, this is it.
He was great.
Yeah.
He was great, yeah.
There's a very talented player in there somewhere, I baselessly maintain.
Underneath all of the plaster of Paris.
Yes.
Yeah. I like him in that when he came back at the end of last season, he started coming on and he was great because he started calming us down on the ball and he kind of slowed the pace down a little bit, and he's good at picking a pass. He's kind of tactically aware. He knows what's around him. Positional sense is quite nice, but he hasn't got much pace, and I don't think for the league that we're in, the players he's going to be up against, he might be a bit of a luxury player.
He will die.
Do you think he'll stay?
I think he'll stay. I think he kind of maybe he feels like yours or something, considering he's only had like 3 appearances.
I've got him on Snapchat, and I can promise you, absolutely loves Jesmond Dean, and he won't be leaving that easily.
Fair play.
And final question, presuming no one's got an outlandish shout of Adam Armstrong, Gale or Mitrovic?
Now, I know we've already said that this is a 4-2-3-1, but personally, I love the 4-4-2. I really do. So I would have had them both up there, Gale and Mitrovic. But because we've already said 4-2-3-1, I'll have to go on there.
Could you?
I just think first game away from home on the telly on a Friday night. I think he's going to go 4-2-3-1.
You right? I
Uh,
was going to do your.
no, not that. The first home game, whoever that's against, I can't remember.
Fulham. Friday night.
Home game.
Yeah.
Oh, home game. No, it's gone.
That one might say the 4-4 F2.
Could you think Gale and Mitrovic there's any natural chemistry there? They've not been on the pitch together in pre-season, you know, have they? They've been.
No, I think Mitrovic spent most of last night trying to wind up their centre half, which is basically what he does. Let's be honest. Well, whereas Armstrong was running channels and he was just all over
How
the
do you
place. I liked the look of him. I thought he looked well. He had a good chance in the first half, which he hit straight at the keeper. But he's quick and he's a bit annoying and he's a nuisance. I like footballers like that. Tony Cotty, them type of players from years back. You'll not remember him.
Bit before my time.
Before your time, that. But yeah, a player with a nice side part and who can run down the channels. So I'll take that every day.
Ross?
I think Mitrovic. Yeah.
I've completely lost track of who we said was playing where. I know we've all got the same back foot. Shelby Cole. Fine.
James Perch.
James Perch. Come on, James.
Perch and Vernon in the same team.
Team's on the table.
Well,
Yeah, this is the point, Ross. Where's Vernon Anita in this team for you? How can you leave out Vernon? How can you, of all
He's
people?
the spiritual leader from the bench.
Well, at this point, we're going to cut in a photo of your desk so people understand this Vernon Anita thing. But where's Vernon Anita in this team for you? On the bench?
I don't care. He doesn't need to be. Just as long as he's there and in that squad, I'm a happy man.
brings the booty, doesn't he?
And smile. If Gini smiles leaving, Vern's the natural successor of that, isn't he?
Is Vernon Anita also the natural successor to Wijnaldum's place in the Rafa Benitez song? Our fan poll concluded that he was not. It was Rolando Irons.
How do you fit that though? That doesn't make sense.
Rolando Irons. You have to kind of go Rolando Irons.
Mm.
Where's Vernon Anita?
Straight away.
And Wijnaldum and Bemba.
And Vern's higher up the food chain at the club, I'd say.
Chancellor Bemba. Florian Tove.
And what about
Dear
him?
God.
Well, just before we came on air, which is what I'm technically calling this, the Chronicle published an article saying there could be a chance he stays now.
Really?
Which is good news for you because you like his lass.
Well, there is that. I mean, I've never actually seen her in the flesh, and if he left, she would still exist on the internet. I've realised.
Actually, we have no impact on the relationship with her.
None whatsoever. So yeah, him staying hasn't made any difference to my chances of ever. I'm going to use the Daily Star term of bedding.
Oh, a tryst.
Yeah. A haughty romp. No, that's not going to happen. Charlotte, what's her name? Peroni? That's her name, isn't it? I think so. She's lovely, but he's probably better for her than I am.
If he stays,
I'll only disappoint her
if he
eventually.
stays, is he in your team?
No.
Not at all.
Not that team. No.
What would he have to do to get in? Just graft.
Start playing well. Start showing a little bit of spark of something different, bit of magic.
New
some
haircut.
touches.
New haircut, I can confirm.
Well, brilliant. Whoopie do.
Oh, you know what it's like in real life though. You bit down the dumps. You get a new haircut, and all of a sudden things change for you.
I've had the same haircut for 15 years, which is probably why I'm a miserable little kid.
Ross?
My hair's not very good at being hair.
Christ.
Which is the least you expect of it, really, isn't it? It's the bare minimum you want for hair.
Kills everywhere. It's horrible. Anyway, Turban. Just play well, score a few goals, take a few players on.
Show a bit of passion. I don't be like Stephen Taylor passion. Like show a bit of willing and commitment, and
a bit of arsehole.
A bit of arsehole, yeah.
That's what we want.
Don't let your shoulders drop straight away when your first step over doesn't work. Just kind of make it look like you're interested. That's all Newcastle fans want, really, isn't it?
Just get well.
If you're listening, Florian, that's all you have to do.
I think you might
just look arsed.
Thank you very much for joining us on yet another eclectic NUFC Fans Forum, which I'm told is 80% more fun than the real Fans Forum. Taylor, can you confirm or deny this?
Yeah, it is definitely. Well, they have biscuits at the real Fans Forum. So.
Oh.
Where's ours? That's the question.
I've let us all down.
You have.
Next time,
please.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us. I have, as always, been Adam, joined by Ross and Taylor. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Let us know your starting 11 for Fulham in the comments, and we shall see you soon.